fashion, music, wellness.
And don't forget sex.
Mostly sex.
If it's trending, they'll be talking about it. Trend Radio is right here.
And right now, I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we always have something great to say.
Because it's us. So stay tuned.
You'll be glad you did. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning.
How are you on this bright, sunny day today?
Really? It's sunny for you.
Oh, it's always a sunny day in Heightstown, East Windsor. And Philadelphia.
Hey, I'm just saying it's sunny for you.
Well, you know, it was so bright this morning early on my way into the salon today that I needed my sunglasses.
Really?
I was sneezing along the way.
Really?
And I got to thinking that the sun and skin cancer and then I realized that eye cancer is a real thing.
Absolutely. That's why you have to wear sunglasses.
Yeah, and it really is as awful as it sounds. And you know what's worse is...
Tell me.
Men, are slightly more likely to get it than women.
You know, it's interesting because a lot of men don't wear sunglasses, and they should.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are so many cool shades out there. I mean, really.
That's right.
Pull down the shades. Definitely.
Well, the American Cancer Society says if you wear the wrong sunglasses or none, like most men, you're overdoing it with the UV light. And,
wow. That's crazy.
And you just said, while cool is really likely to be your first requirement, you actually should pick out a pair of glasses that say polarized and UV protection.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that UV protection is, reduces the glare.
It's like wearing sunscreen on your eyes.
That's right. And it also blocks those, the UV rays. So
absolutely. And then you want to be able to see your sexy partners.
That's right.
So, you want to make sure you wear those sexy sunglasses.
That's right. And make sure you see your doctor at least once a year.
Oh, absolutely.
And don't let your doctor kill you.
Don't let your doctor kill you.
That's right. Medical errors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Did you know that the medical errors are now the number 3 cause of death in the United States?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's according to the BMJ reports.
Why?
Well, the typical errors are misdiagnosis and record-keeping blunders.
Well, no, let me just ask you something. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because the way insurance is and with all of the different cuts that even now the doctors are cutting back and going too quickly, and their staff is going too quickly because of all of the insurance issues?
What's happening is, in order for a doctor to make money today, and I've got a few friends that are, in the medical business.
So
and they tell me that in order to make any money, they need to see a patient every 15 minutes.
And some do.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
what
all
it
they
is.
give you. And then, of course, with the high cost, they have to cut down on their staff.
See, it's interesting, though. I guess it depends on the doctor. Because my doctors, and I'm so thankful, my oncologist still spends so much time with me. It doesn't matter. He doesn't rush me. Nothing. Just spends so much time with me.
Well, you're very lucky. He is a established...
Okay, no, he's actually he's younger than me. But I'm just saying that I think it depends on the doctor. A lot of times, it depends on what your illness is, I guess. If you start off with something, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not my field, but I do know
Mine either.
that with medical billing is an issue. Also, doctors are paid by code.
Yes.
And what happens if they're cutting down on their staff, and if someone puts the code improperly, the doctor doesn't get paid for what he does. And there's no going back for a correction.
Really?
Yes, or an amendment.
Now, why is that?
That's just how it is.
That's interesting.
That's the Obamacare rule.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That's right. So hopefully things will change in the medical industry for the next 4 years, and things will...
Oh, there we are. There he is with the politics.
I gotta talk
I
from my heart.
I thought that we were not a political show. In fact, I thought we were a sexy show, and yet you're just talking politics.
Hey, doctors are sexy.
Some are.
Yes.
Some are definitely sexy.
So, anyway, what you want to do is you want to ask a lot of questions. You know, why am I being prescribed this? Why am I getting this test?
Oh my gosh, questions are very important.
Yeah, you know, when my father had gone into the hospital, now, misdiagnosis, let me tell you about the major blunder about misdiagnosis. My father went into the hospital 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he went in. Now, I happen to know the head nurse at the hospital, and he said, do not let Dr. B examine your father. He's an awful doctor. Well, who does my father get? He gets Dr. B. And my father likes him. He likes him. So Dr. B treats him for 20 years for his heart attack.
Uh-huh.
Well, 20 years later, let's fast forward 20 years, Dr. B retires.
Mm-hmm.
So now my father is looking for a new cardiologist.
Right.
So now I'm 40 years old. It's time that I have a cardiologist also. So I bring him to my cardiologist.
Right.
And he tells him, well, Phil, I don't really know. I have to look to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a heart catheterization. So he did.
Oh, okay.
So he goes and he looks at the heart, and a few days later, he calls me in with my father, and he says to me, Anthony, your father never had a heart attack. I said, what? He said, but he had all of these symptoms.
Wow.
He said,
So he was being treated for having a heart attack?
which he never had.
Isn't that interesting?
What he had was indigestion.
Oh, GERD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
a lot of people those symptoms can mimic that of heart issues.
That's right. So here it is. It happened to.
And then you can get other things from that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is
different
correct.
cancers, esophagus. Yeah. With your esophagus. Oh, gosh. All kinds of things.
So after we learned this, my father had another episode, went back into the hospital because that's what he was used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to see him on my lunch break, and they were wheeling him out. And I said to him, to the nurse, where are you bringing him? Well, I'm bringing you for a test. Well, what type of test? And it was something for his heart. And I said to her, well, there's nothing wrong with his heart. We just did a catheterization. He has this GERD thing going on. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, the doctor wants him to have this test. And I said, Dad.
Now, is that for insurance?
No, it was for money.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
told him
for money.
He didn't have a heart issue. So I said, Dad, get dressed. We're checking you out of the hospital. And he said to me, you can't do that. The doctor said. And
oh, I can do that. I'm going to do it.
The nurse understood because she was the one that I talked to before he even was admitted.
Wow.
Don't check him for this indigestion.
That's interesting. My grandfather actually was misdiagnosed. They never diagnosed his Parkinson's condition properly. And as a result, he died.
That's right.
Because of it. Because he wasn't being treated for the proper
There you go.
issue.
There's 2 out of 2 examples of a misdiagnosis.
That is the truth.
The number 3 cause for death in the United States.
That's interesting.
So if you're respectful and asking these questions, physicians generally welcome this kind of engagement and discussion. So if your doctor is resistant or uncomfortable to talk to you and answer these questions, find yourself a new doctor.
Wow. Interesting.
So anyway, getting back, we are not a political show. We are about health, wellness, romance, relationship, love, lust.
You're looking at me. We haven't been talking about sex, so I'm not saying it anymore.
Well, we're going to talk about love right now.
Oh, I love love.
And my baby loves love. My baby loves love, and she's got what it takes, and she knows how to use it.
My baby loves love.
Okay.
Or maybe Baby Loves Lovin'. That's a good song. I know that song.
Okay. Okay, where was I?
We're going to talk about love.
There are 5 levels of love, and which one are you on?
Which level of love? Well, tell me the levels.
Well, even if you've been happy in love for ages, it can still feel like a battlefield sometimes. I know that
Love
for
is
sure.
a battlefield. Yeah, Pat Benatar sang that.
Now, once the newness of a relationship wears off, you might find yourself wishing that honeymoon phase of that relationship to come back in full force.
But love has many different stages, like you said.
That's right. Love is a many splendored thing.
Yes, we're going to have a whole bunch of songs here. But the thing is about love is that there are so many different levels, and each one is beautiful. And each one you have a different closeness with.
That's right.
And that's a beautiful thing.
And each one of those levels of love doesn't come without its challenges or
that
its
is the
uphill
truth.
battles.
Now, that is the truth.
It tends to fluctuate between falling in love with the person and doing it all over again and wanting to pull their hair out by the plugs.
Plugs?
I heard that in a movie.
Oh,
Woman said,
I could do that right here.
Get your act together before I grab you by the plugs of your hair and yank it.
Ouch.
It was
I
a
imagine
great
that
line.
would be painful.
That's right.
By the plugs. I haven't heard that one.
Love normally works in stages,
Okay.
and it'll help you get clarity on which stage of love your relationship may be currently in.
Okay.
So
Like
you
what?
see, okay, falling head over heels.
Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, in this stage
Yeah,
you feel
sunshine, lollipops, and,
and
rainbows.
That's right.
Yeah.
You feel like a love-struck teenager who just can't get enough.
And you just can't stop smiling.
That's right.
Yeah.
You talk to this person every chance you get, and even then, it still doesn't feel like enough.
Yeah. I remember that.
Spending all night talking on the phone,
Oh my gosh. Hours and hours and hours.
texting throughout the day.
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't have.
Oh, you didn't have text. There were no cell phones back when you were young.
Yes, there were, but we didn't do texting.
Well, anyway, you'd have deep conversation.
And my
it'd-
phone was big.
You can tell the strength of a man by the size of his phone.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Okay.
Big phone, loud ringtone.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyway, this stage, there's something that feels awakened within you. It makes you feel alive and free and happy. You decide to go on a date, and that first date easily turns into a second one. You've fallen for the person, and you've fallen hard, and you wouldn't have it any other way.
No way. But I love the next stage. The growing closer stage.
Yeah,
Don't you love that?
It's like when you even have a deeper bond with your partner.
Absolutely. And there's that, you start to learn things about each other that just opens all these wonderful doors, and you feel so good, and you're getting closer and closer.
Yes, you totally adore your partner, and you love learning new things about each other.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And the more you learn, the less you realize you know. And then somehow, I don't know how it happens, but you start to feel a little uncertain, and you're not sure of where things are going. You get a little confused.
That's right. That's right. That's the uncertainty stage. We didn't get to that part yet.
Oh.
That's the next stage
See,
that you're
I
going
was
into.
there.
Yes, I know. See what in the growing closer stage, your world revolves around that person and vice versa. And you might even
And
talk
then you
about
get scared. I get it.
no, you talk about marriage or moving in together.
Okay, and then you get scared.
My advice, don't do it.
Then you get scared. And that's
Don't
when
move
you're-
in.
That's when you're uncertain. Right?
That's right.
Okay. That's the
Then-
next stage.
Then comes the uncertainty.
Okay.
So there,
See, I was moving too fast. My bad.
that's what you do. You move too fast.
Sometimes.
That's probably why you've been married like 5 times or 6, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Tell that to my one-time husband,
You know,
who I adore, by the way.
well, I adore my girl too. And I adore her more than you adore him. How's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, okay. Whatever you need to tell yourself. I'm not playing that game with you.
I want to play the game.
You're not fair. You don't play games by the rules.
I play like Donald Trump. I play to win.
He just can't stop with the politics, this man.
All right,
I guess we are now not a sexy show. We are a political
we're
show.
a political show.
That's what we're becoming.
That's right. And I think our producer is a Democrat. I think.
It doesn't matter what he is. He's the best damn producer we've ever had.
He's the best damn dirty Democrat.
He's the best producer we've ever had, and we are not a political show. And it doesn't matter if he's a Democrat or a Republican. What matters is that his name is Al, and I love him.
Al and Al.
Yep. I told him, huh? How about that?
Are you a dirty Democrat, Al?
We stop! Unbelievable. He doesn't know when to stop, this man.
I just inquiring minds need to know.
Well, then why don't you go get a copy of the Inquirer, the National Enquirer? You'll find some stuff out.
All right, Elise.
I could be a rowdy Republican.
You could. Okay, that I respect. After years or even a few months, you might have lost sight of what made you want to do this show with your co-host in the first place. I mean,
I'm giving him a dirty look right now, everybody. Just so everybody should know that.
You're so negative. You're so negative.
Never.
Anyway.
I am always positive, always happy, and always full of sunshine.
Anyway, the newness of this relationship wore off, but will your love endure the harsh grip of reality? You know, during this stage, most couples decide to either make it or break it.
Exactly. It's either, if you can get past this part, then you're going to be, smooth sailing. But if you can't get past this, then you don't need to be with this person. If you can't get past this, because things are going to happen. Things that are going to shake you guys up. If you can't get past this part, this stage, then you don't need to be together.
Well, the thing is, Elise, life begins to take over. You know, there are daily stresses.
Yes, I know
and
there are.
They can wear down any relationship, strong
Well, you know
or
what?
weak.
Daily stresses can. But if you can't get past the daily stresses, then how are you going to get past the real stuff that happens, like illness, unfortunately? Or, God forbid, there's a car accident. Things really do happen. Life happens. How are you going to get past that?
I would hope you love the person enough
to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a matter of getting through it.
Right. And that's the 4th stage of love, the repair and renew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this stage, you figure out what went wrong in your relationship.
If something actually went wrong, or if you can actually go through the crazy stuff.
All right. So you work on mending some of the issues of the crazy stuff. You know, you don't want those same crazy problems creeping up again.
You don't want anybody volatile.
That's right.
You don't want anything that isn't honest and good and real and...
That's right. And even if they're taking some medication that makes them volatile and crazy, you have to have a soft spot in your heart to understand
Well, that comes with the real stuff, like the illness and that kind of stuff. Sometimes you can't help it.
That's right.
I know just speaking about myself, I take a medication that, unfortunately, it makes me crazy sometimes, and it makes me super reactive. But the thing is that sometimes it makes me extremely reactive to stupidity and snot. And sometimes...
Is she talking about Mia? When she starts talking Italian.
If the microphone fits.
When she starts talking Italian, Al, I know I'm in trouble.
I see that.
I got me a wooden spoon.
Oh my God, I'm so scared of the wooden spoon.
You should be. You want $1?
Yes.
You scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared. So anyway, eventually you realize that both of you do have imperfections.
And that happens. That comes with love.
That's right. And you once saw your mate as perfect. So what happened?
Life.
That's right.
Stuff.
Sometimes we let our expectations get in the way of reality.
Oh, those.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, once you let go of expecting anything and you just know that the most important thing is that the two of you are happy.
And you accept each other's flaws.
Flaws, yes, absolutely. I definitely
Have a bunch of them. You do.
I definitely accept a bunch of yours, but
Thank
I
you.
wasn't even going to say anything like that. It's important to be able to accept each other, especially when you love each other.
That's right. And you can then again work together as a team, like a good team on, let's say, a radio station or events, or, presentations, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Once you can get past the crazy stuff, then life happens.
And then you move on to the next stage.
And there's always a good stage there.
That's right. And that next stage is wonderful. This is like your stage.
Peace and acceptance.
Oh, yes.
Because there's nothing else that you can possibly do after going to hell and back
With your co-hosts
with
or your
anyone.
mate.
With anyone. Because, like I said, life happens. Things come up. And you just need to be able to get through it.
That's right. Through the thick and the thin.
Especially if you love the person.
That's right. And you don't have to pretend. You don't have to hold back.
No.
You enjoy the world
Exactly.
with them. And know that at the end of the day, they will have their hearts and arms open for you to rest your soul in.
Oh, well, what a beautiful thing. Especially when the souls mingle.
That's right. And intertwine.
Absolutely.
Isn't love lovely?
It's lovely.
That's right. And speaking of love, when we speak of love, we must speak of sex. And when
Sometimes.
and when we speak of sex, we speak of relationships, and they all
Kind of intertwine.
intertwine.
Like the souls.
That's right. So why does her scent linger on you for so long after you have sex? Even if you shower or wash,
Is it an
her
energy?
aroma is
Is it-
still there.
Is it
a
in your
couple
nose?
hours later.
Is it in your nose? Is it an energy? What is it?
Well, it's the scent of vaginal secretions. And that's the source of primal sex. It's a primal sex smell. Everybody knows it.
Oh.
And everybody
Even after you shower, it's there?
Yes. That's right. And that's because it's primal.
Really?
Now, a milder cousin of this of the vaginal secretion is armpit odor.
Oh, okay.
And what happens is the scent comes from lactic acid, which is produced by the vagina's healthy bacterial flora.
I see.
So you
Interesting.
see,
Wow, you are
health-
just a plethora of information. You such a pussycat.
And so I'm told.
Meow.
Well, the vagina's chemical structures of the flora, along with other organic compounds in the vagina, it enables them to stick to things like skin,
Okay,
clothing,
so then that's the reason why it lingers.
hair. That's right. And it doesn't wash
Even-
off easily.
That's so interesting, though. I was about to say, even in like a hot, steamy shower with soap.
It could still be there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, George Peretti, he's a PhD of the Mondale Chemical Senses Center in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And he says that this clinginess undoubtedly has an evolutionary purpose.
Now, what is that?
Well, the researchers couldn't explain exactly what it was, but there's, it's if a woman is taken or a man is taken, her scent will be on him, so the other cavemen
Right.
don't-
I was
or
about to
cave
just
women,
say
rather, the other
what
cave
it
women.
is. It's to show property, if you will.
That's right.
Or, hey, he or she is mine.
That's right. And my scent is on him.
Mine.
Okay.
I got it. Wow.
Now, we do know from other experiments that we've talked about in past shows that ladies can put their sweaty panties in a jar.
And men can put their sweaty t-shirts
In a jar.
and their partners will be able to choose theirs.
Correctly. They'll be able to go
Exactly.
to all 5 jars and pick out the
Theirs.
panties or the t-shirts
Absolutely.
of their partner.
Their partner.
It's
Absolutely.
absolutely amazing.
That is amazing.
Now, remember though, there is a chance if the odor is especially pungent, there could be an infection. And you should see a doctor.
Well, your partner would know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I wonder if your ex-partner would know.
I would think that you would still be able to choose and pick out something from an ex-partner because, well, I guess it depends. It depends on how close, if you're still friends with the ex.
Have you ever been hung up on an ex?
No.
No, either have I.
No, I don't believe that. I mean, I think that there's an ex for a reason.
Right. When you're done, you're done.
When I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
But I know people that still maintain, relationships with their ex-partners. And sometimes it's amazing. I think it's just easier for them, though. It's just easier to stay in their lives.
Well, they could be hung up on an ex, and their present partners should not ignore that.
Ah,
Yeah. And
I happen to agree with you there. I know some people that I think are still hung up because they spend an awful lot of time with their ex-partners.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
I agree. Definitely not good.
When you start a new relationship, you should get butterflies and feelings of excitement of what's to come next.
Exactly.
However,
why would you still be,
that's right.
talking to your ex?
And when your partner is hung up on an ex, things can get a little more complicated and usually not for the better.
Oh, do tell.
Okay, for instance, some people are dating or married and, and within those relationships, there might be a little tension regarding a previous relationship.
Exactly.
Okay, there also might be a little bit of jealousy.
Could be.
And on the other hand...
Especially when an ex-girlfriend keeps calling your man.
That's right.
Awful.
Bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when you're busy
Yeah,
and they're calling and calling and texting and calling. What is that?
That's right. And, but on the other hand, there are some people that haven't found someone to make a life with just yet, and...
Well, that's a little bit different. But if they have a life with somebody, why on earth would they be talking to their ex?
Because they're not over them yet, I think.
Is that what it is?
I would imagine, or they just don't want to let go. I mean,
Really?
There's going to be trouble if you notice like a change in your partner's behavior, when you mention, the name of his ex, or there's a kind of weirdness that goes on, and
Yeah.
And-
I know that weirdness. I know what you're talking about.
and what you always say, Elise, is to be mindful of your gut feeling.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if your partner talks about the ex often, is not a good sign.
Definitely not a good sign. Definitely not a good sign.
According to Dr. Judith H. Tannenbaum, she's a psychiatrist in New York City, if your partner brings up his or her ex's name voluntarily on a regular basis, it could mean that, she hasn't yet moved on and is still consumed with thoughts.
Or it could mean that he hasn't yet moved on.
That's true.
And especially if he or she keeps bringing them up, that means they're still probably in close contact. And so that could be a problem. Because a healthy relationship that you have should not involve an ex-partner.
That's right. It should focus on you, just the two of you.
Exactly.
And-
not your ex.
No, he shouldn't even come into, or she shouldn't even come
She should
in.
not even be in the area, in the picture, or anything.
That's right. So when you go into a new relationship, it should be filled with excitement, not.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and and not that you don't measure up to his ex, or if you're.
Believe me, you don't have to measure up to a person's ex-partner.
No, you don't.
You are your own person, and you should be loved and respected for who you are.
And if your partner's constantly comparing you to his ex, this really can
That's a
be
problem.
Yeah, detrimental, even to a stable relationship.
Absolutely.
And you definitely don't want your partners to be best friends with his or her ex.
I think that's the worst mistake ever.
It will absolutely ruin your current relationship.
I agree completely.
Yeah, if your partner's too close, they see each other for lunch.
Yeah,
they,
and they can
talk on the phone,
all the time,
email.
text. I think it's the worst problem ever.
That's
I
right.
think that particular relationship should always be an ending relationship.
Yeah,
Definitely the worst one.
and it's important to be wary of that relationship.
I know. I think so too.
Yeah, figure out
I couldn't agree more.
if you trust your partner or not.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Well, the key is definitely there. Yeah. Trust is definitely.
That's
you
a biggie.
Yeah.
And
But when the ex is constantly calling, how could you trust? There has to be concern that would come up because she just doesn't go away and she calls constantly.
well, a way to know for sure is if the sex between you two isn't great. And that's according to Jackie Filosa. She's a divorce expert and the author of Divorced Girl Smiling. And
Divorced girls smiling.
Divorced
I love
girl
it. Like my
smiling.
my girls that I do their nails. They're
That's
divorced
right.
and they're smiling.
she explains that if the sex isn't great, and
I guess that would be a problem.
Right. And
but if the
she's-
sex is still great, I guess then
Right.
things are okay.
because if she's holding back or she seems to be a little more reserved between the sheets, it could mean that your partner hasn't moved on from that previous relationship and is unable to open up to you due to the
Sexually.
sexual memories with the ex.
Ah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Like lousy sex. Well, what's the problem? Wake
Well,
up, girl.
yeah, it must be the ex. But but if the sex is good, then I guess that
That she's
you have
open or
to-
he's open. And
You
they're...
have to have trust in the relationship then.
That's right. That's right. And ladies, don't put up with those little memories in your partner's house. If you see photos of the
there
ex,
should be no photos, even if they're friendly, even if they're still friendly. There should be nothing, no memories of that ex-partner in your home,
no desktop images, no
Nothing.
albums on the computer.
and no pictures on the phone.
That's
there
right.
should be nothing like that. It shouldn't be that type of relationship anymore.
That's right. And if there is, it probably means that they haven't received closure from that past relationship and that they are still pining for their ex. And that's according to experts at eHarmony.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. See, that's a little bit of a scary thought. I mean, I know a lot of situations like that, and that's a little scary to know that. But I guess you're right. You have to base your relationship on trust. And if you could trust your partner and the sex is good, then and there are no memories floating around, then I guess you're okay.
Now, a surefire way to tell is if your partner gets angry when the ex is mentioned. That's a sign, a definite sign that they haven't gotten any closure, and that closure is needed to put that previous relationship aside.
So what you're saying though is if you and or the couple could actually talk about the ex partner, and there should be no craziness and no words, and everybody is comfortable, then there shouldn't be any issue there.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Now, Wendy Walsh, Dr. Wendy Walsh, she's a PhD and she's author of this book called The 30-Day Love Detox.
Ooh, love detox.
Love Detox, that's right.
Interesting. That sounds like a good book.
She says if you notice any of these signals, it might be wise to take a step back and evaluate where you both stand in the relationship.
You know, I have to be honest. I actually gave that advice to somebody. One of my clients was telling me that she's having an issue. I know her guy is still very involved with his ex-partner. And
Boy ought to
and-
be ashamed of himself.
and the thing is that they're just friends, supposedly.
That's what they're saying.
Supposedly they're just friends. Her sex life with him has not changed. It's still excellent. But this girl is just around a lot. She texts him. He responds all the time. They go out for lunch. They go, she's
Gonna beat that girl down.
she needs to make like a large purchase. She calls him.
He paying for it.
They talk about finances together, things like that.
She on the payroll.
All right, I think we're not talking about this anymore then. No, because you're being ridiculous. The thing is that she is having an issue with this. And I said to her, listen, if there's a you talk to him and you take a step back and evaluate your relationship. Pull back a little bit.
He don't. You beat his ass. That's all I'm saying.
You pull back a little bit and just see. Step back and observe and be clear. Explain what's going on to him. Explain why you're doing what you're doing. And just take a step back and see what's going on. He'll come around. And if he doesn't, he's not worth your time, babe.
Mm-mm.
And there you have it.
So if the sex is good and the cunnilingus is good, what?
Nothing.
Do you know what
Comes
that
out with these words. Like it comes out with these subject matters
do
that
you
like
know what cunnilingus is?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I've had an education too,
Well,
You're not the only one.
there are many things about cunnilingus that people need to stop believing. They are myths.
Okay.
There are myths
Let's
about
talk about the
cunnilingus.
myths then.
Okay. Okay. Not a myth. Cunnilingus is a gift.
Okay.
And people with vaginas obviously deserve
People with vaginas? There are only women. Only women have vaginas.
Well, and they should experience just as much sexual pleasure as people with peni do.
Okay, but only men have them.
Right. Men
So-
have the peni.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now,
Boy.
receiving and giving oral sex can make that happen.
Absolutely.
But there are really destructive sexual myths about cunnilingus and oral sex that really affect many people's sex lives.
Really?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
share, because I'm curious.
Okay. Well, it's especially true for something like the vagina-centric oral sex. Instead of being able to enjoy it in all its glory, or not, because some people legitimately aren't into it. But-
There are some people that really aren't into it. I know some of those people.
Really,
Yeah, I've had conversations. Oh my.
with the women,
Yeah.
what do they say?
Yeah. Well, they basically they're not doing that. They
Okay.
don't do that. They're
Will
not
they-
doing that.
Will they receive it?
They're not doing that either. They think it's dirty.
Amazing.
They think it's dirty and they're not doing that.
It is not.
That I'm just saying.
The vagina
This
is
is-
like a self-cleaning oven.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying what they've said. They're not doing that. It's dirty.
Okay. Well, I'm here to get rid of the myths. Now that's a
Okay,
belief.
you are the myth buster.
Alrighty. Number one, the vagina is not dirty, but
Okay.
if it is, steer clear. if the vagina is dirty, usually the person is dirty.
Usually,
Yeah.
you can tell based on their hair and nails.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, one of the first myths is that if you don't orgasm from oral, you have a defective vagina.
Definitely a myth.
Definitely. a myth.
Definitely.
You know, sex is supposed to help you escape the pressures of everyday
True.
life, not add to them.
But just because you can't orgasm from having a certain sexual pleasure does not mean you're defective at all.
That's right. Now, there are some women who can't orgasm from intercourse.
That is true.
And they find that oral sex is their golden ticket.
Like the Wonka golden ticket.
That's right. But even if you think oral is enjoyable, it might not work for you orgasm-wise. And
That's
and
fine, though, because
yes.
it's never the destination. It's always the journey.
That's right. That's right. And you shouldn't feel like something's wrong with you if the cunnilingus doesn't immediately do the trick.
No.
You know,
It can take some time to learn how to respond to it also.
That's right. And it should, like you said, it should be fun.
Oh,
it's
it
not
should
the
be-
destination, it's the journey.
I think I just said that.
I know I heard it somewhere.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth.
And another myth that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago is that you need to chug down pineapple juice so that you taste and smell a little better down there.
It doesn't do anything.
It does
doesn't
not.
change anything. But I'll tell you what happens when you eat and drink a lot of pineapple juice. If you have, and this is really the truth, you can look this up. If you have any kind of pain, do eat pineapple or drink pineapple juice because there's bromelain in it, and it will actually help with nerve centers and pain.
Wow.
That's a fact.
That is. Wow. I'm going to start buying pineapples and I'm going to start
Well,
drinking.
you know I eat a lot of pineapple.
I know,
And you
I
know
see
the
that.
reason why. It's
Yes.
not because of anything, any kind of smell. It's because, of the pain, of different
But
pains.
You smell down there?
Stop it.
I'm sitting next to you. I don't.
Stop it. That is
Also-
disgusting. You're disgusting.
Your armpits smell a little bit. Your breath.
Al, do something
Wait a minute.
about him.
I think that sweater you have on, or
Oh, my God.
you were
He's
wearing
awful.
that. You were wearing that the last 2 days. That's what I
I
smell.
didn't even see you for the last 2 days.
That's what I smell.
Will you
That's
stop
that
it?
sweater.
You're terrible.
Smells like dirty laundry.
I have to tell you something.
Did you have like the
There
whole
is
family's
not-
underwear on top of that sweater?
There is no dirty laundry in my house, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I am telling you, I have the best husband in the world, and he does all of it. So there you have it.
Boy, can I move in with him?
I don't know if he'd have you.
Probably not.
So go on.
All righty.
First of all, I have to just say this one thing. I know for a fact there's absolutely nothing that can make anyone's vagina taste like fruit.
Well, there is something that you can put under your tongue that makes everything you put in your
We
mouth.
talked about this. There's a
yes.
website for that. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I don't remember what it was, but you know what? Email me at trendradio920@gmail.com. I'll find you the website and send you a $50 gift certificate to Anthony Vincent Salon.
That's right. You get it on Amazon. It's about $18. You put it under your tongue.
And
it dissolves and it makes
Anything
everything
taste-
taste like cotton candy.
Yeah, or fruit or whatever flavor you got.
But anyway, getting back to the pineapple juice. As Elise said, there is nothing that can make your vagina.
Like pineapple juice. It's not going to make you taste like a piece of fruit.
That's right. Well, there is one thing that'll make you
What?
taste. You put a piece of fruit in it.
Oh, that could be dangerous.
That's right. So, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
In my younger days. Now, let me rephrase that. A friend of mine in his younger days, a friend of mine
Oh, boy.
had a gal, and, she was very petite and quite nimble and acrobatic and open. And what he
It's just
did,
unbelievable to me.
what he did
Yeah.
is he brought strawberries and fruit and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And he put strawberries inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
And then, would whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
A strawberry got stuck, huh?
a strawberry they couldn't get it out. And it was very, very humorous So I'm told.
I'm sure afterwards.
Well, no, because yes.
At the hospital?
No, there was no hospital because then the sex stopped, and then the focus was on getting that strawberry out of there. Mm-hmm. It was very, very funny story.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Very
I
funny
noticed
story.
the laughter next to you. Anyway.
Well, the way he told the story was.
I'm
was
sure
very
the way it
humorous.
was thought. Yes.
So anyway, getting back, don't put some fruit inside there.
There's no need to alter the way you smell or anything like that or taste because you're perfect the way you are. The only alter that there might be is if you have like an illness or an infection or something like that, and then you'll take care of that.
That's right. But other than that, everything going on down there is completely normal. That's right. Now, here's another myth. You're going to hurt your partner's feelings if you tell them what you want.
Actually, I think that it would hurt your partner's feelings more if you don't tell them what you want.
That's right. You are not going to hurt your partner's feelings. Constructive criticism is great.
Could be a little embarrassing depending on what it is.
That's right, but they should get over it pretty quick once they realize, how hot it is that you know what you want and you can describe it to them.
That is amazing. If you can describe what you want, that's hot right there.
That's right. And another myth is that you should be so loud during oral that the neighbors could hear you.
Oh, no. Don't do that. That's like a porn show. You know how on, for some odd reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the reason is that on any kind of porn movie, anything, women scream. I don't know why. I don't know why they do that. I guess for the movie.
Well,
but,
Harry Met Sally, the famous
now that is a
scene
completely
in Cat's,
different thing.
Delicatessen.
That was a different thing.
That's right. And you're right. Pornography spread this falsehood. Now, it's cool if you moan or, sigh, or even if you get a little inventive with your dirty talk on.
That's always fun.
That's right. And it's also cool if you're pretty silent because you're concentrating on how good it feels. Mm-hmm. Just because every time you get loud, and this could be really possible, if you get loud, the person you're with, might change what they're doing, lose their train of thought. And
then your orgasm is gone.
Gone.
Chased away.
Yeah, you scared them. They started doing something different. They thought they were hurting you.
Yeah, you see that?
You lose.
Yeah.
So, and another thing about cunnilingus is that you should be all about the direct clitoral stimulation.
No.
That's right.
No, definitely not. No.
That's right. There's like 8,000 nerves down there.
I was going to say too sensitive. You want to concentrate everywhere, not
That's right.
only there.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, too sensitive, and then you'll just that won't work. No.
For some people, anything more than a feathery light touch feels like somebody's trying to beat their vagina with a hammer,
Or break it.
Yes. And there's no one stimulation fits all rule when it comes to oral anyway.
Definitely not.
So don't feel weird if you need someone to either barely touch you or go at it with like the suction power of a Hoover.
Tell your partner what you want. Tell your partner. It's important.
Or show him.
Oh, yeah. Show him.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, too. And there's a myth with oral that you don't need to worry about STDs.
Not true.
Wrong.
Yeah, not true.
Wrong.
No. STDs can happen wherever. Okay? And, your mouth is just as much risk as
That's
your
right.
body parts. Yeah.
Oral counts as sex.
Absolutely.
And sexually transmitted diseases and infections can be passed. Yes, with all kinds of oral.
Absolutely.
So, give yourself peace of mind that comes with practicing safe sex.
Always.
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 And I just started watching this series and called Girls.
I was just about to say Girls, right?
Right. And the girl, what is her name?
Lena Dunham?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
you love her.
That's right. And she's quite the feminist. And, she says you're not a feminist if you can't get on board with cunnilingus. Well,
That's funny.
Lena, maybe you're obsessed with your vagina and don't think it's anything to be ashamed of, but you still don't like how oral feels. And
Yeah,
if
it could be too ticklish. It could hurt you. You could be a very sensitive type.
that's right,
It could make you uncomfortable.
it could gross you out that somebody's rubbing spit all over your most intimate parts.
I have to tell you, oh my God, somebody said that to me.
What?
Somebody said that to me. One of my clients, actually said that. She thinks it's gross that somebody would be spitting inside her. I was like, oh,
well.
wow. Okay, then.
Well, I don't know. I think that giving or receiving oral sex is probably one of the most intimate things that you can do.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very intimate.
So, whatever your view on oral sex, it's correct, and maybe you always check it off the list before moving along to another sexual activity that's more intimate in your mind.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's whatever is good for you.
That's right.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anybody else. You and your partner, of course.
It's got to be good for both of you.
Of course.
And if one it's good for and the other it isn't,
Then you work on it.
you
come to a happy medium.
you find a different level of love.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So, whether what your thing is, intercourse or oral or something else, or maybe you don't do it until after you've already done everything else.
Okay.
Whatever
it is, just as long as you're comfortable with it.
And falling in love.
And
you're-
loving each other.
And
And respecting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And staying away from your ex.
and finally ready to have someone get up close and personal with you.
That's what's important.
That's right. As long as what you're doing makes both of you feel
Feels
comfortable.
good.
That's right. It's the right choice.
Absolutely.
There are ways to get exactly what you want out of a relationship and go up those different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course,
So what are those ways?
well, it's communication.
Always. Communication is key.
That's right.
I always say it. You
and
always say
we
it.
always talk about it on our show.
Absolutely.
Now, communicating what you want, is that needy?
I don't think it's needy. I think it's normal. I think it's important also.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be called needy.
No. When you're telling your partner what you want, it's because it's what you want. It's what's going to make you happy. And you want to be happy and you want your partner to be happy. So it goes both ways with that.
Yeah, I guess it's really an unfair way to describe somebody just because, they have needs. I mean, who doesn't have needs?
Everyone has needs.
Yeah. You need more attention. You can need better sex. You can need your partner's mother to stop calling you at 6 a.m. in the morning. You might even need her to stop calling, period.
Okay, well, that's never going to happen. And, it's very interesting. I know somebody, she did need a certain type of attention. And so she expressed that to her partner. And, he really had to work on it. And he's working on it. And he's doing really well with it. And that's really important to her. Another thing, she was telling me she needed his ex-girlfriend to stop calling so much all the time. Now, unfortunately, the ex has needs and problems and is needy. And so I don't know why. He just goes along with that. But there are certain things in certain levels in relationships that we have to be able to balance with each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in any relationship with whether it's friends, lovers, family, colleagues, there really is a pleasant way to ask for what you want.
Always be nice.
That's right. And it's all in the delivery.
Always be nice. There's no reason to be anything else.
If you make a request with a tantrum and tears, you're hypersensitive. Make them in a calm, cool way, and you're a grown-ass woman.
Absolutely. And that would be a better way to communicate. Always.
That's right. And there are ways for expressing your desires in non-combative ways, even an approachable fashion.
Yes, there's no reason to be volatile.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
right.
But before you do anything, always know what it is that you actually want before you say anything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you don't know what you actually want. You just know what you don't want. And, you have to know what you want or need before you can express that to your partner.
That's right. You know, some of us require daily love notes, nightly texts, you know, and
Exactly.
the perfect surprise birthday extravaganza.
Exactly.
Attended by all of our closest friends. You know, Mick Jagger said it, you can't always get what you want.
Yes, but it's important to get what you need
That's
from your
right.
relationship.
And if you're still feeling unsatisfied in a relationship, put some serious thought into what's truly missing. You know, before you want, you know, some of you may want more fancy date nights, you know, or
chocolate and flowers.
right, or some of you feel like needing to feel special.
Yes, it's important to be a priority. It's important to feel important.
That's right, and to be open and honest about it.
Exactly.
You know, it's key to communicate your needs with grace. You know, I know somebody who once dated a gal who was very romantic, very sexual, and I wasn't giving all of the attention that she deserved or really wanted, you know, which left me feeling a little odd. So over dinner one night, you know, she said, listen, I'm totally turned on by you, but if we're going to be in a romantic relationship, I need you to flirt with me at least once a day. Call, text, whatever floats your boat.
She needed a different kind of attention.
That's right. And it ended up benefiting both of us because listening to her made me a better partner.
Oh,
Now,
well, that's important.
Now, that said, sometimes the answer will be no. And you need to ask yourself which sacrifices you're willing to make and which ones you aren't.
Or if you're willing to stay in a relationship.
That's right. So learn each other's needs.
Absolutely.
You've been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You want more? Go right to our website, 920thejersey.com, click on demand, and scroll directly to us.
And get the lowdown on getting down. Tune into your bad boy inside you.
Or your bad girl.
Listen each week. We always have something sexy to say. Got questions? Email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
And remember, your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card.
But how you make people feel? Well, that becomes your trademark.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.